When my colleague at Virginia Theological Seminary and I began talking about how to approach the topic of dementia, we decided to begin with science before moving to theology and spiritual issues. In the last 15 or 20 years, before we knew much about the brain, with scans and all sorts of technology, our knowledge has just exploded. Non-invasive scans at people as they think, act in the world have opened our understanding of this extraordinary organ. On Pluto, a book written by a man with early onset Alzheimer's, describes the brain in this way. The human brain, a fragile organ that inaugurates connectivity for the first week in utero, contains 100 billion neurons, 16 billion times the number of people on Earth, with each neuron igniting more than 10,000 synaptic connections to other neurons, totaling more than 1 trillion connections that store memories. If your brain functioned like a digital video recorder, it could hold more than 3 million hours of TV shows, enough video storage for 300 years. Each of us comes to rely on the smooth functioning of our extraordinary brains until we note a dysfunction, with misfires in some of the parts that result in memory loss, logic malfunctions, balance, and facial recognition, among other symptoms. Our senses of vision, hearing, smell, taste, and touch are vital inputs to the brain for communication and enjoyment of life. The sense of touch is one of the first to develop in a newborn and the last to be lost in dementia. The sense of smell has a very direct line to the brain, which is why smells are so strongly associated with memories and emotions. It is memory that is most often associated with dementia. Short-term memory, which is like a temporary scratch pad, is usually the first to go. It is a nerve impulse, not a well-worn track, which is routed through the hippocampus and converts short-term memory to long-term memory. Long-term memory is robust, even if recall degrades. Memories attached to significant emotions tend to last a long time. Many remember the exact details of how they spent September 11th, 2001, but few remember their activities the day before. Another important memory is music. While music involves the auditory areas of the brain, it also taps into the emotional center. From scans, we have discovered that the whole brain is involved when we listen to music. Researchers recently scanned the brains of young people in their 20s who were listening to music from their childhood. Comparing these scans to those of people with advanced dementia, researchers discovered that the primary area for long-term music memory is surprisingly spared in the brains of those with Alzheimer's. The lesson to be learned is the power of music in freeing people who have been imprisoned by their dementia. From a science point of view, what is dementia? Well, it's a progressive brain deterioration, including loss of memory, judgment, language, complex motor skills, and other intellectual function caused by the permanent damage or death of the brain's neurons. Now that we are living longer, Alzheimer's become the most prevalent cause of dementia. It's responsible for 60 to 80% of dementia diagnoses and is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. But the important takeaway here is that dementia is a symptom of a disease. It is not a mental illness, nor does it deserve the negative stigma that surrounds it. Too often I hear people refer to those with dementia as having no there. Despite thousands upon thousands of tests and brain scans and monitors, no one has ever found the locus of the spirit or the self. That is the second important takeaway from this discussion. While our understanding of those bound by dementia is limited, theologians assure us that God's promises to us are not diminished nor changed because of a physical illness, even one with symptoms of dementia.